pecan sandies.
We're rolling, Craig.
All right.
Rolling on your laptop, rolling on the Ustream. Jason White, autodesign.gov. Are you ready?
Not .gov. I'm not the government.
.edu, whatever.
Com. Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, and I'm pissed. And Christian Conover,
Present.
Apparently I'm
the
a
principal of
tax man.
Conover Media, which is
Principal? I like that.
executor,
headmaster.
whatever. You're ready to go? I'm
Yeah.
ready to go. Ben, are you ready to go?
Yep.
Recording on your laptop?
Yep.
Recording on Ustream?
Yep.
All right, let's get this show on the road ways. Chat room ready? Well, it doesn't matter if you're ready or not, because here we come. Let's do this. Coming up on Roundabout, a quick. Try that again. Coming up on Roundabout, a quick and dirty way to convert your Toyota Prius into a wintertime workhorse. A Japanese inventor has created an unbelievably detailed transforming model car that has to be seen to be believed, so hear it all about it next. We should start this again.
Believe.
Stutter. Coming up on Roundabout, a quick and dirty way to convert your Toyota Prius into a wintertime workhorse. A Japanese inventor has created an unbelievably detailed transforming model car that has to be seen to be believed, so hear all about it next. And our panelists square off in another round of a car by any other name. And
Just
you,
keep barreling through. Barreling through.
This is Max Headroom.
pretend it doesn't happen, and it didn't happen. Hold on, let me... Okay.
Take a breath there, Craig.
No,
right,
I
everyone
up to
quiet.
the text size.
Good.
Silence.
How you doing?
Coming up on Roundabout, a quick and dirty way to convert your Toyota Prius into a wintertime workhorse. A Japanese inventor has created an unbelievably detailed transforming model car that has to be seen to be believed, so hear all about it next. And our panelists square off in another round of a car by any other name, and you, our loyal audience, gets to decide who wins and who loses. Roundabout is sponsored by...
You thought you were just waiting to see if we noticed.
I was hoping you had. And again, for the last time.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Sorry.
Lord.
It's a good thing
Almost.
you're editing this on Monday.
We could be here all night.
Coming up
won't.
on... Let's try that again.
Everyone quiet.
Coming up on Roundabout, a quick and dirty way to convert your Toyota Prius into a wintertime workhorse. A Japanese inventor has created an unbelievably detailed transforming model car that has to be seen to be believed, so hear all about it next. And our panelists square off in another round of a car by any other name, and you, our loyal audience, gets to decide who wins and who loses. Roundabout is sponsored by Advance Auto Parts. Visit our website, roundaboutshow.com, to get up to $30 off your next purchase, and by everyone's favorite online store, Amazon.com.
From autodesign.com, I'm the Jason White Institution.
Updating my Uncle Amanpour profile on Christian Mingle, I'm Christian Conover.
Craving delicious palak paneer, I'm your host, Craig Cole.
On taking my water pills, I'm producer Colonel Slanders.
This is Roundabout!
It certainly is.
Welcome to Roundabout episode 128, our weekly chat covering car culture, vehicle reviews, and some of the auto news you may have missed.
Oh, come on now. It's not a good voice.
What? It's my voice.
That's rather insulting.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is a voice.
It's I was expecting some...
Gravitas!
There you go. We get...
So, Jason, we'll flog you later just to complete it. You know.
I guess.
No, that was fine,
Man.
Jason. It was an
All right.
It was a gentleman's 48.
I just wanted to do it as myself, you know? And then later on we'll have other...
I guess I should apologize. I shouldn't have hastily jumped to conclusions.
Yeah,
Anyway, we are back. We skipped a week. We're glad you could join us again. Roundabout episode 128. We're joined in the studio live by the Jasonian Whitestitution
Hello.
designer.
Ooh.
He's a designer, a voice artist, and a bunny wrangler. What does not this man do?
I don't
Apparently, other voices at the intro.
Ice capades.
He's not a prominent figure skater yet, but
Yeah.
you wait and see.
One thing we should do at the top of the show, actually, this entire show was put together before we heard this news, but we must point out Carol Shelby passed away today at the age of 98.
89.
I would say
Isn't it
R.I.P.,
89?
but I'm tempted to say GLH instead.
Good
Moment of
times.
silence.
Sad news for Carol Shelby, visionary in the automobile industry, performance legend.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of legend, though, are you aware we have a broadcasting maven on the line joining us via Skype from sunny, beautiful, scenic Annapolis, Maryland, Christian McConover.
Or Uncle Amanpour, whatever you
He
want.
likes that Uncle Amanpour, and I don't blame him. It's very clever.
You know, to be fair, that was your starting of that, Craig. You're the one who launched that whole thing.
It should be a blog, Uncle Amanpour's Fourth Hand Motors blog, about buying
No.
used cars. You could have some
Uncle-
good car buying tips for the motoring public. You know?
Yeah, that's an option.
Certainly something that could happen.
It is,
It's-
certainly.
Something to do.
Speaking of something that can happen, news. It's going on all the time. Believe it or not, it happens 24/7. If you don't keep your watchful second eye out for what's going on, you're going to miss things. And that's why Roundabout's here.
This is the most important news of the week, clearly.
That's why we're here, Ben. We serve.
If
as
you've heard nothing else this week,
you heard Roundabout.
Seriously, if you watch the news, any other news station, these are the three stories that you hear. Seriously. You hear a celebrity has said something stupid, or a celebrity has apologized for saying something stupid, and then the third one is natural disasters. Those are the
or
those are the
celebrities
three-
in rehab for saying stupid things.
What about shootings in Detroit?
I did
No,
say natural
not newsworthy.
disasters.
Okay. Natural selection disasters. or
Yes.
something.
You may call this a fork. I call it a toast extractor.
So anyway, news. We
All
are
right.
a program devoted to happenings in the automotive industry. And Jason, why don't you start us off?
All
what have
right.
you got here? What have you dredged up? And why did this little story catch your eye, your news eye, that
Oh.
I mentioned moments ago?
Well, as a youth, I had all the Hasbro Transformer toys, and I was probably the only person who noticed when the TV show was on that they never explain where Optimus Prime's trailer goes when he transforms into a robot. I'm like, what's he hiding behind the bushes and waiting for him to? And then as soon as he goes back to truck, there he is, just pulling right. Oh, we're leaving now. Anyway, I got a lot of enjoyment out of seeing these toys actually. You know how they transform, how they go from car to robot. The Michael Bay films, you don't really see that too well because there's all kinds of visual confusion and CGI, and they don't really go to the trouble to figure out exactly how it transforms. And that's why this particular transformer that this guy in Japan made is so cool. It's a little scale transformer. It uses 22 individual servos. Yeah. And
That.
and it not only transforms into a robot on its own, does the whole thing by itself. You don't need it. You don't need to do anything physically with your hands. It also throws punches and dances the jig. It is
What?
really yeah. Watch, here it goes.
This is incredible.
I mean,
It's up on its heels.
It's a
down
real
on its
life
toes.
transformer, and it turns from a car into like a robot type thing.
the only thing you're missing are those. That is great.
It does like an uppercut. That's awesome.
Wow.
That is awesome. It also does the jig at some point. Here.
It's the jitterbug.
It hobbles
The
away
jitterbug?
because it has to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
And it does the same in reverse too.
Mm.
Not going backwards. I mean, back into a car.
No,
Oh, that's awesome.
No,
Is that not-
I'm assuming this is an Autobot. It's painted red. Usually Autobots are red. Decepticons are usually purple and green in color, if I remember. Also, they prefer to do the Charleston. So, but
Did he just flip me the bird?
yeah, I think he did.
Jason, you know what this is missing?
What's it missing?
Pew, 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 pew.
Actually, it was like more like
Well, in the cartoon.
yeah in the cartoon, and then you got
Michael Bay's.
and then you got Cobra Commander going Megatron.
So very fascinating finding. How much damn time did this guy have to design, engineer, manufacture this little gee whiz gizmo here.
I don't know. I mean,
Too much is the answer, Jason.
I mean, engineering just one thing to, the robot by itself or the car by itself would be one thing. This thing does both. That's pretty remarkable.
Yes, it is. Yes,
And it boxes.
Yeah.
Yes, it and it boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes easy mac and cheese. So, very good find. Next up, Christian. Ferrari's in trouble in the Middle Kingdom.
Yes. Well, given China's capitalist explosion, it's only natural Ferrari would want a piece of the wealth. To commemorate 2012 as the year of the dragon, Ferrari built a custom 458 Italia and rented out a section of the Great Wall of China. All was going fine until a dealership employee jumped into the car and did donuts on the top of the wall. So, yeah, idiot.
That happened.
Authorities were furious, and while it's unclear exactly what will happen to the wannabe NASCAR race winner, something tells me he won't be doing any driving or walking anytime soon.
Because he's getting a bullet in the back of his head. That's how they work over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
and then along comes the
that'd
organ
probably be the better
donation van.
solution.
Organ
That'd probably be
donation
more
van.
desirable to what'll
I've
actually
watched
happen.
the news.
So why? First of all, why are they? Can you drive on the Grand Wall?
I
of-
guess when you're Ferrari and you can pay enough money to rent a section of the wall, which is absurd in and of itself.
Yeah.
What did they
I
think,
guess.
What did they think they were going to do with the Ferrari on the wall to begin with?
Yeah.
It's not just going to sit there.
Who knows?
It's a conversation piece.
Yeah.
It's not gonna- Duh.
They'll set hors d'oeuvres on top of it, and you can just pick from there.
Well, next up, we're our next story. We're still in the east, but not quite as far east.
In Soviet Russia, zebra stripes you.
That's right, Yakov Smirnov or Stolichnaya, whichever.
In Soviet Russia, loan gets you upside down.
The Russians, America's Cold War adversaries, always seem to do things just a little bit differently than the rest of us. Case in point, this story we found on carscoop.com. To be fair, we have no idea what's actually going on in this video, and unless you can read the Cyrillic alphabet, your guess is as good as ours. It depicts a group of 8 or 10 men armed with hatchets, and they're chipping away at the zebra stripes of a pedestrian crosswalk. Perhaps they can't afford a good solvent to wash them away, or maybe a couple gallons of black paint to cover the offending stripes is just too expensive. I don't know. Is it possible we're watching a modern-day Slavic chain gang in action? Who
Yeah, I think this is
knows?
what the Russians had to resort to once they closed the gulags.
I saw
Yes.
these guys off Broadway once, I think.
The loneliest mile. My beat. That's a joke for Ben. But they're chipping away at these painted lines on the street with hatchets.
I don't know what they plan to do once they get rid of them. Are they just going to repave the little...
Paint new ones.
section?
I just thought of the perfect soundtrack to that is the Depeche Mode song Pipeline. That would be perfect for that video to go with it.
So,
Trust me. Isn't it true that they're making a horror film now that takes place in Chernobyl?
Yes, I did see that.
I was actually
As if Chernobyl wasn't horrible enough.
well, I'm thinking, I'm kind of like sitting here going,
Pripyat.
what took them so long? That's actually a pretty good premise. Now that I
Well,
think
that's a
about
good
it,
point.
you've
I
seen
get-
you've seen the pictures, right? It
it's
is-
horrifying.
It's
And artists
scary.
have gone in there.
Yeah, it's a
and-
frightening place.
It's a scary place. I read once that they had a 2-hour tour where they brought people in there. They wanted to leave after 15 minutes. The silence is deafening, apparently.
Because you're like in an
The
urban
place
area
looked
and there's
terrifying
nothing, right?
before the accident.
Yeah.
And then the accident happened, and man.
Well, nobody got out of there until they finally told them what was going. It was like on the news.
Days later,
on the news
right?
that evening, they're like, "There was an accident at the Chernobyl power plant today. People are being treated for their injuries." And in sports, that was what they. And then 2 days later, they're like, "Oh yeah, let's get out of here." That glowing fire you see,
Yes.
that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, that's terrible. But that's a very to do a horror film there.
I
yeah.
think it's a good idea.
And the photos I've seen, there's artists have gone in there and painted some pretty creepy murals as well. I mean, I don't know, artist or artist singular has gone in there and done some weird like ghosts.
I'm going
and
to have to tell you
skeletons
about the
and stuff.
Green Line in Cyprus sometime because there's a whole bunch of brand new 1975 Toyota Corollas trapped in there with 23 miles on them. Trapped in a buffer zone. It's pretty sweet.
I see. Anyway,
All right.
and happier news. Everybody loves chicken unless you have a meat allergy. I don't know. Jason?
Here's a guy who's definitely not down with OPP. An Ottawa man who apparently was in quite a rush was fined $490 by the Ontario Provincial Police for eating rotisserie chicken while using his knees to steer the car down the highway.
Isn't it called the carriageway?
I don't know. It's they put Queen Elizabeth's name in front of it. And it's
11
Canadian
herbs
highway.
and spices.
The OPP said the man swerved out of his lane a few times, followed other cars too closely, and changed lanes without signaling. We put in a call to Ripley's to see if this is in fact the most expensive carry-out dinner ever. Still waiting to hear back. We also called Naughty by Nature for comment. They have nothing to say. Except hip-hop, hooray, ho, hey, ho.
Wonder if he went to Boston Market.
Well, I don't know
Maybe
of any
the
rotisserie.
I don't know.
Maybe Swiss Chalet or Harvey's. Those are the other two Canadian restaurants I see in David Cronenberg movies.
What about like do they have a Nova Scotia Market or something? It's one of my favorite maritime provinces, if that is one. Christian,
Yes,
horrible parents.
indeed. Just when you thought there was a shortage of stupid people on the road.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, luckily for you, Indiana, closer to home. Indiana has cooked up another batch. A concerned citizen spotted a mother and father tying their kids to the hood of their car and then heading out for a drive.
They probably deserved it.
Maybe. Said concerned citizen immediately called the police, who tracked down the covered-in-children wagon, put a stop to the shenanigans before any injury ensued. When asked just what the hell they were thinking, the moron couple said they did it because the kids said it, quote, sounded like fun. Well, congratulations, Indiana. You've provided this week's World's Worst Parents on Wheels.
On what?
On wheels.
Oh, wheels.
Yeah.
Oh, wheels. I'm
wheels.
sorry. I mixed up the W and the H. My
I know,
apologies.
that's easy to do. That's a challenging digraph to
Somebody
put out.
typed it wrong. What kind of an
Wheels.
idiot would do that?
The one who wrote it, arguably.
Imagine that.
We'll blame Ben.
Yes.
Who would strap their kids to the car?
The world's coolest parents, that's who. God, you guys are so lame.
What's life without a little danger, right?
Exactly.
I don't even know
Oh,
what to say
man.
after that.
I wonder how far they got before they got pulled over. Like, were they out on the highway? I mean, it
Well,
didn't say, but
I remember when Jackass used to be on TV. Remember that program? Whether you like it or not, they did
it was a fine program.
a couple funny things. And one of them is they had the baby carrier with the handle on it, and they'd leave it on top of the car.
I was just thinking that,
Yes.
and people got really like,
Oh. Or the one where the guy, I think it was Dave England that did it. He'd have
Yeah.
the baby on the back of the bike, and he'd go riding along
Wait, you
and
mean-
hit the curb and just wipe
What,
out.
you mean
and
there
tear-
was a sketch where Dave England wasn't puking? Because
Yes.
he's puking in almost every time he's on screen. I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for him to
He
throw
wasn't
up.
one of my favorites on
Oh,
there. But
what my favorite Jackass bit though? Golf course air horn is
Oh,
the
Yes.
greatest.
they just
Yes.
people get so pissed.
They get so angry.
So good.
I have got to do that. That is on my bucket list. I have got to do that before I die. Put on the camouflage paint. Get in all the camo gear with the horn right in the downstroke, and watch them just go apoplectic. I that is something I must do
Before you
Do-
leave this
before
earth.
Do you remember
I
that-
leave
that-
the earth. Before I shuffle off this mortal coil.
Shuffle.
Along the same vein, do you guys remember that show on Comedy Central about 8 or 9 years ago called Let's Bowl?
Nope.
It was Comedy Central's answer to like court TV, but instead of going and settling
Oh,
things
vaguely,
in a
maybe.
quasi-court,
Horrible.
you would just bowl, and whoever won the case. But
So
the twist
stupid.
yeah, it was stupid. But the funny part was each side got an air horn that they got to use once during the game.
Oh wow.
So like right as somebody would go to throw the ball, somebody else would run up right behind them and blast the air horn like 2 feet from their head, and you just see the ball go flying like 5 lanes over, and the person would jump and usually fall because they'd slide on the wood. But it got to the point that everybody was like, they just expected it was going to come every single time they went up, so you could tell they were like bracing for it.
Mhm.
Wow. So you got to use it once in the game.
Once during the thing, and so like, and even though people would be bracing for it, it would still totally catch them by surprise, and they'd still throw the ball like halfway across the room.
The other one was you'd have a crate full of fruit bats, and you'd release those during their swing, and they'd go crazy. Good afternoon, ladies and
You say
gentlemen.
they could go batshit crazy, maybe.
Oh,
Mark it.
Sorry,
Ben.
it was there, and I just couldn't let it sit there.
scrap.
scrap. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Step right up. Don't be timorous. I am happy to be the first to introduce you to the greatest product you never knew you couldn't live without. That's right, I'm talking about winter. The coldest season this side of Independence Day can wreak absolute havoc. But have we got a product for you, a solution to your biggest problems? It could end global warming, save the whales, and cure cancer if it only had arms, but it doesn't, so you'll have to settle for an 8-hour nap. That's right, I'm talking about the Nordic Snowplow, now available and just in time for summer. Strap this plastic honey on the bumper of your automobile, and you can clear a path like a Soviet icebreaker.
In Soviet Russia.
Turn practically any vehicle into a Jack Frost destroyer, even a Toyota Prius. That's right. Now you can put an end to pesky pileups and plow your own snow. Best of all, the whole kit and caboodle can be yours for just 47 easy flex payments of just $14.66. Order now. And if you call in the next 15 minutes, you'll even get free shipping. Operators are standing, sitting, and laying by based on their health condition.
It's so badass.
Yes, it is. It's called the Nordic Snowplow. This is a plastic snowplow that mounts to the front of any vehicle.
Plastic.
I gotta say though, when you look at some of the pictures that they have, like they have these big orange like industrial straps to mount it, but then you look at some of these other pictures and you see kind of the jury-rigged way that they have bungee cords attached to like every other surface of the vehicle to hold it in place, and it kind of makes you wonder, how is this actually going to even work?
Yeah,
I have a question. What type of plastic is this using? Is it polywarpylene or polycrackyline?
Polyfunneline. Look at the times they're having there.
Polyorangeline.
The lady in the convertible, she's like, oh, I love it.
Yeah, because let's put the convertible top down when it's 20 degrees outside.
Look, Christian, there's one in the front of a BMW.
Yeah,
Is that what you're going to do?
Nope.
Nope. They got one on the back of a Prius. You can put it on the rear.
So
yeah, that was the other thing I was wondering. Why would you mount that on the back?
Back your way to
on
hell.
The back. What?
Oh.
Anyway, so that's a conversation killer.
Buzz Killington.
The gist of it, you strap this cheap piece of plastic to the front of your car. It rests against the plastic bumper of said car, and you're supposed to plow snow with it. And they recommend doing it at only 1 or 2 miles an hour to avoid damaging your vehicle.
So basically, just be careful you don't take your foot off the brake.
Basically.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
You're
idea.
essentially idling the car into the snow.
That'll give you tons of power to move snow around.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you can plow the snow, chances are you could just drive through it, right? So save the hassle
Especially
of
if you're moving it at half the speed of walking.
half the speed of smell. I mean, this has got to be the most useless and preposterous gadget I have seen in quite a spell.
Which of course means that RoundAbout needs to order one and test it.
We should send it. Well, if it weren't $700.
Is it seriously?
Yeah, it's like $689. Yeah. So
wow.
There you go. So that concludes, folks.
Am I seeing correctly that they've wrapped a 2x4 in foam to make the little frame for this thing? That's what it looked like in one of the close-ups.
Christian, it is ecologically responsible engineering. They're using a renewable resource. You should be
wrapped
proud
in
of that.
foam.
Yes. Wrapped in another renewable resource because oil is never going to run out.
Good.
So coming up next.
What?
All right. That concludes the exciting news portion of today's show. We got a lot more great stuff coming up. Like I mentioned, A Car by Any Other Name is our signature segment after the break. We'll keep this conversation boiling with Jason White, autodesign.com.
That's me.
And Christian McConover of the
Also
Wheel Spin Network.
Also present.
But now we got to thank our fine friends at Advance Auto Parts. We have a great, very exclusive affiliate offer for all Roundabout listeners that you have got to tune in for because it is just awesome. I've taken advantage of it. Many other folks have as well. And is your one-way ticket to major savings, Jason. Have you done this yet?
No, but I believe it is good value for money.
It's great value.
I heartily endorse this event or product.
Whichever it may be. So you go to our website, roundaboutshow.com. You look on the right-hand sidebar of the page. You will see a little box, a little advertisement for Advance Auto Parts. Click on that. It takes you to their online storefront. What you can do, you do your shopping if you need parts. They've got it. Aftermarket, repair parts, whatever. I just did the timing belt on my Focus, ordered it through them, saved a bunch of money. The offer stands as this. If you spend $30 with them, take $10 right off the top. If you hit $50, you can save $20. If you spend $100, take $30 off right off the top. Very easy. All you got to do.
That's a lot of savings.
It's a huge amount of savings just for ordering. And if your order exceeds $75, free shipping right to your door.
Boom!
Boom.
I feel kind of guilty taking all that money from Advance Auto Parts.
From a major
Do not
corporation.
feel guilty, sir.
But don't
They
feel
want
guilty.
you to take it.
This is an offer because they know the Roundabout crowd
We'll take their money.
is a very loyal and handy group. They're good with their hands. They know how to fix their vehicles. They're offering this to us
Alec
exclusively.
Baldwin from Glengarry Glen. They're sitting out there waiting to give you their money. Are you going to take it? Are you mad enough to take it?
You should. And Jason, if your order does not hit $75, you can still get free shipping to an Advance Auto Parts store of your choice, a brick-and-mortar store of your choice. All you do, enter to get these savings, again, that's 10 off 30, 20 off 50, or 30 off 100. To get these savings, all you got to do, follow the link from our website, roundaboutshow.com, and then when you check out, you will see a little a box where you enter in the promotion code. It's listed on our website right under the ad. You put that in there, you'll see your savings come right out of the shopping cart.
Don't be alarmed.
It'll make
deal.
this noise to let you know that you've saved.
Not actually, but you can imagine that
Imagine
noise
it in
when
your
you
head,
save. Yeah.
and it'll make it.
So do it. We're asking you, help us out, help yourself out. There's free money that's out on the table that you can have as yours. Just go to roundaboutshow.com, follow the Advance Auto Parts link, and save. It's that simple.
You owe it to yourself.
You
It's
owe it
true.
to us, too. Let's be honest.
Choose the right auto parts store.
Just call Advance Auto Parts. That didn't work at all.
Oh, how about this one? Ready in advance. We thank our friends at Advance Auto
We do.
Parts.
If I were wearing a top hat, I would be tipping it and gesticulating it slightly to show my honor.
Advance Auto Parts.
So next up, it is time for our next segment, a new segment, if you will.
It's
Design.
time for Design Dome Distinction. Ugh.
So, Jason is the designer, the wife, the mother, the lover, the friend, whatever. You are a designer.
To be clear, I
Ostensibly.
think distinction in this case is spelled with a K. Do you
Stink.
get that? Dude, it's like, it's smelly.
It's a play on words.
Oh.
So-
So what is this?
All right, Jason. There was an article that inspired this posted on the Universe.com.
Universe.
About outside design firms and automakers working with them to design vehicles, and this is right
Yeah.
up your alley.
Yes.
I understand.
Yeah. Not all automobiles are designed by the actual company that manufactures them, even if they have their own design house or their own design department. Oftentimes, if they have too much on their own plates or they want to get a fresh perspective on something, they will go to an outside design house. Examples of these would be Pininfarina, Bertone, Ital Design, run by Giugiaro, and there's lots and lots more. But it doesn't always have to be some super exotic sports car. It could also be cars that you would probably like to forget.
Gasp.
Yeah, exactly. Hooniverse points out that I believe it was Ital Design that did the Hyundai Pony. Is that the one they're pointing
I
out?
believe so.
Yeah. So they're asking everybody, what is the most incongruous car to feature a design house body, like cars that you would not expect to be associated
Because
with these
if you
design
go to
houses.
a design house, it's generally good stuff, right? For the most part, they do a phenomenal
you would like
job.
to think that it is. I mean, if you go to if you're going to Chez Paul, you would expect to get 5 shrimp cocktails and some bread for your brother. But I picked 3 cars that I think fit this bill. The first one is the Rolls-Royce Camargue, I believe, by Pininfarina, which is a Rolls-Royce that was basically styled by Pininfarina, and it's one of those. Yeah, exactly. It has got to be one of the ugliest Rolls-Royces.
Pretty clean, though.
Yeah, but it's just like, these are...
Yeah, but that's not what Rolls-Royce is about.
This is the exact wrong imagery for a Rolls-Royce. There's nothing English about this at all.
It's got the grill. Come on.
Looks kind of Russian.
It has an almost Russian feel to it, but it is just absolutely the wrong wrong church, wrong pew. And then the next is the Eagle Premier by Giugiaro. This was back when the American Motors Company was just about ready to do its belly flop, and they asked Giugiaro to design the Eagle Premier. I remember the ad that was for this car on TV. They had this big flying in thing, over mountains and everything. Yeah, and you get just close enough to make out the silhouette, and then it cuts to black and says, "The Eagle Premier is coming." I'm like, you jerks. And it's really just a slab-sided. I mean, you can see
it's not ugly, but
it's not ugly, but it's not
There's nothing
interesting
going
either.
on, really, right?
You put a triangle in the front of it, and you've got an Alpha 164. Yeah, and then the third one I got in here, the Cadillac Alante by
Infamous.
Pininfarina, which is
Ugh.
another, which is not a bad looking car, but again, it's like, really, Cadillac needs help from an Italian design house? I don't know.
Apparently
It's-
they
I-
did. Look at those clear tail lamps.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It never really. I think that's the other thing. You look at these three, and it's like these are really prestigious design houses, and it's like that's the best you can do.
What's
Right.
an example of design house work done right? What's like the quintessential? Is there one? Or?
Oh yeah, I mean, I actually wrote an article about this recently on Autodesign.com. Tom Jarda, when he worked for Gia, he did a lot of beautiful work for a lot of companies. Pininfarina did the classic Alfa Romeo Spider. What else did they do? Well, let me think. Ital Design did the Lotus Esprit, the classic Lotus Esprit, the DeLorean, the Volkswagen Rabbit. Let me think what else.
A lot of successes.
The
a few
Scirocco,
strikeouts. though.
yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a few skeletons in the closet anywhere
Well,
you go.
They all
It's gonna
can't
happen.
be winners.
No, you
Same
can't. You
with
can't win.
Roundabout.
The faucet can't be on all the time. And Hooniverse actually made a nice analogy here. They said that it's a lot like Michael Caine taking a job to pay the bills, not necessarily to win an Oscar. And you know, there may be a grain of truth to that.
Mm-hmm.
That you know, it's a job they take to pay the bills. They can't be designing supercars every day.
Exactly.
So
Very interesting stuff.
yes,
We got to have you on more often to do this design stuff. It's very fascinating.
yeah.
'Cause it's the area of the. It's just interesting. There's
It
a lot of
keeps the-
passion there,
keeps
and that's
the-
what sells cars.
It
Cars
keeps
that
the
are
rabbits
emotional.
fed.
It keeps the rabbits fed too.
Yeah,
Rabbit husbandry. Sorry, wrangling.
wrangling.
Sorry, wrangling. They've been fixed. He listened to Bob Barker. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Ben, sound drop for our next segment, which is a car.
Car by any other name.
Toot, 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 toot. All right.
That doesn't sound like a sound drop.
That's good.
How about that?
That sounds like a sound drop.
There we go.
Yes.
That was it.
Okay, and with that, it is time for Roundabout's newest game where we name the cars and you, our enthusiastic, loyal, stupendous audience, do the rest. And we call it a car by any other name. In each round of the game, I will announce a fictional make and model, and each panelist will then take his or her turn describing, based only on said name, what kind of vehicle fits the moniker. For instance, if we call out the Langostini Clarafino, I might describe it as an Italian compact aimed at financially secure millennials intended to evoke the carefree joy of an afternoon at the beach. Sans Al and his support device. Oh, that's from an older episode.
Son of a bitch.
There you go. So, for extra points, I might mention that it was conceived while Langostini's head of product development was lunching at the Red Lobster.
Didn't you sound about as interesting as a press release?
In each round, the winner will be determined by the fickle hordes in our chat room, so you guys better be paying attention. There will be a test afterwards. And after each round, Ben will drop a link in the chat where our live viewers can vote. So, chatters, make sure you're signed in, make sure you're ready, get your keyboard typing fingers warmed up, because we're going to need your help to determine who tells the most convincing story.
Yeah.
Jason White, you look skeptical.
No, I'm just thinking.
He's lost in thought, folks. So, Ben, you ready to go? You got your timer ready? Because each contestant will have 1 minute
That's right.
to make their case, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And who should we start with? Should we start with Jason since he's in studio?
Fine.
Let's. Okay, he said fine.
Mm-hmm.
We previously flipped a coin, and just now Jason said fine.
So, okay.
So that
Alright.
means him.
Beachin.
So let me just unhide this portion. The first vehicle is known as the Long Runner.
Long
What-
runner.
What kind of vehicle is the Long Runner? Who designed it? What kind of engine does it have? What size of vehicle is it? Ben, are you ready with the timer?
I'm ready.
Jason White, are you ready? Because you're going
I'm
first.
ready.
The Long Runner. Describe it to us. Your time starts now.
The Long Runner is a vehicle that was designed, marketed, and manufactured by Bruce Jenner. He used to be a long-distance runner, and then he had quite an abysmal career as a color commentator. But the only problem with the Long Runner is that it doesn't go very far. So it doesn't quite fit the moniker. Some people suggested that it would be called the Short Runner or the Sprinter, but then they found out that that name had already been taken by Dodge for their small vans, the tall ones, you know, that they replaced the B vans with. Anyway, so Bruce Jenner didn't listen to them and decided instead to call it the Long Runner. And not long after that, they realized, oops, we should have called it the Short Runner. Bad idea.
He sounds like he's got time to spare, Ben.
And, well, I thought you were going to chime it just then, but I guess not. No?
No.
I thought that was the sound thing you were going to...
No.
No?
Minute's a long
Yeah,
time.
stretch just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And then... oh, you're done.
You built him up and then you cut him down, Ben.
That's the way I do, Craig.
All right, Christian, you've had a minute or two to rest on, well, specifically a minute, to rest on your laurels here. What's it going to be? How you feeling, girl? Are you ready?
I guess so.
Tell us what the Long Runner is starting now.
The Long Runner is a medium-sized SUV that was designed by some former Toyota engineers who have some hybrid design experience. Their goal was to build a vehicle that was both practical and also fuel efficient and could run for a long distance with a little bit of fuel. Unfortunately, they failed at both of these things and resulted in a behemoth of a vehicle that could go about 6 miles to the gallon with an anemic little hybrid system that they also built that was supposed to work if the vehicle hadn't packed on so many pounds, and was not a very successful car as a result. They had put too many features in there that sucked down the battery, and it was comfortable, but it didn't go anywhere. So the longest run it ever took was on the prototype track when they hadn't put any amenities in it. And that's as far as I've gotten.
There, you're out of time, I'm afraid.
Conveniently out of time. All
now,
right.
Craig, before we take this to the chat room, we are going to take it to the streets,
All
ladies
right.
and gentlemen.
Taking it to the street.
Precisely, Jason.
So,
Do you have any follow-up questions? You need to
I have
get
a,
a
I have
little
a
more
question
info
for
out of these
Christian.
guys.
Was that powered by a Thriftronic V6? I don't remember.
That sounds right.
Was
I
it the
don't remember for
24 valve model, though? Or the 18? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I understand that it was a CVT transmission, but instead of one of those conical gears, they just used one of the hats from the Devo people.
Well, that's all I got, Ben. So
All
what
right.
does the chat room
We
say?
are pasting it into the chat room, and we will see what they have to say.
All right.
Ding, ding,
Something
ding,
tells me
ding,
Jason will be
ding.
winning this one.
We have 2 votes for Mr. White.
Domino
two
says
for
Bruce
Christian.
Jenner in cars. Thanks. I'm sterile now.
50%. Oh, we got 40% for Christian Amanpour. It's 50-50 now. Come on, vote, vote, vote. Let's see what's going on.
Did I mention I'm an amateur anesthesiologist?
Oh, another vote for Mr. White.
See, that works.
Now we've got Christian Amanpour.
Everyone loves a gas passer.
57%. Can we
Have
call,
the-
what
have
do
the
you- do you think
precincts
all
reported,
precincts
Ben?
reported? I think we can call it.
What about the hanging chads and the dimpled chads?
Well, that's your
You
problem.
can you can request a recall later,
I don't
but
I'm too young.
Luke says, I voted and now I need a sticker. Well, sorry. We can't.
we're gonna call this round
Your sticker's in the mail, Luke.
for Uncle Amanpour.
Uncle Amanpour?
How?
He wins round uno.
Ding, ding,
Uno
Mhm.
Pizzeria.
I don't think that should. Okay.
All right. Jason, it's still anybody's game. We have 5 rounds, so don't feel whatever you're feeling now.
If you're feeling good, then stop it.
Insert emotional response here.
All right.
All right. Round
And now
2.
this time, of course, we flip it up and we start
we
with Christian.
mix it up.
Whoa, it's getting crazy in here. Christian, it's your turn.
All right.
What's the vehicle, Craig?
The vehicle is, as soon as I highlight this and disembolignate,
What is it?
it's the Oprah Wind-Free LT.
Actually, it's the Orpa Wind-Free
Orpa Wind-Free.
LT.
Okay.
That's the trim level.
The LT or Wind-Free?
The LT. The Orpa. Make is Orpa. Model Wind-Free. Trim level LT.
Orpa Wind-Free LT. All right, Christian. Christian Mingle.
Okay. The Orpa Windfree is a minivan that is very generous to everyone around it, as it likes to drop parts on the street for other people to collect. It's got a reputation for lasting all of about 30,000 miles before you're pretty much down to chassis and wheels, and goes through transmissions like crazy
Wheels.
because, again, it gives them to everybody else. Most of it is made out of cardboard to keep weight and costs down, And God help you if you end up in a rainstorm because you will be completely destroyed. The LT model stands for losing things. And not a very good value.
Not a fan.
No.
Okay. Sounds like it's Jason's turn.
Well, I thought it was a vehicle specifically commissioned by SeaWorld. They needed a special type of transport van to bring people to
that's
the...
the
That is
Orca
irony
wind.
of the
It's the
fact that it
Orca
doesn't-
wind-free.
Okay, sorry.
You're going to
That's
need
the
a bigger
ironic part is-
minivan.
It was commissioned by SeaWorld, which is ironic considering that it doesn't do well with any sort of liquid.
Jason White,
All right, here we go.
you are next. Your time starts now.
All right, the Orpa Wind-Free LT. This is a minivan. Christian Conover got that much right. It is a minivan that actually, the name indicates wind-free. It makes sure that it does not emit any kind of gaseous anomalies or particles of any kind. It does this via a muffler that, I don't know, disposes of it in a certain way. The LT in the name means that it comes with lettuce and tomato. The wind-free bit is the warm bit that's heated, and the cold side, the lettuce and tomato, is kept cold by putting it under a heating unit. No, wait a minute. There's a cold side, and they put the heating unit under the wind-free, and the cold side stays cold. Okay, that much we know. So,
Do we?
so does that make sense?
Yeah.
All
Just
right.
keep going.
So it is lettuce and tomato. That stays cold because it's separate, and then the wind-free bit.
I'm sorry.
Now, I gotta ask you, Jason, why does a vehicle need lettuce and tomato?
Is that sort of like the free iPad of its
It
era?
says wind-free LT. LT. Have you been to McDonald's before? McDLT. The L and the T is lettuce and tomato. Or if you go to a diner and they give you a BLT,
Eat fresh.
what else is it going to stand for?
You know what it stands for? Let's try voting. Because it's
Let's
the-
go.
I'll have a bacon and losing things. No, it's lettuce and tomato.
Guys, chat room, this is a classic rivalry
That's
going
a
on
show
here.
title right there.
What did he say?
I'll have a bacon and losing things. All right, chat
Ben?
room. I have pasted that link in, and you need to vote. Vote away. Who wins? Round
Cleveland's
two.
got a McDLT.
Did I paste in the
There it
wrong
is.
link? I think I did. Uh-oh.
Stop, chat room.
Stop, chat room. Stop.
Disengage. Our cruisers can't repel firepower of that magnitude.
LT, lettuce and tomato. It stays on the cold side, and the cold side stays cold.
Now it makes perfect sense. Sorry, guys. Now vote. Please vote. Click. Click.
Danny Clover. I voted for Jim Hall. The loneliest street in America.
Broadway.
My beat. Ben's been saying that all week, you know. I hope you're happy, Bob. What do we got, Ben? Looks like a tie.
No.
No.
We've got Christian Amanpour in the lead again.
Christian's Crusader.
Oh, come on. The lettuce and tomato bit was inspired.
Oh,
It actually was
Mr.
inspired.
Mr. White is
Whoa.
catching up. It's now 50-50.
It's
Thanks.
break even. It is tied. You're even. That means it's tied.
Is that what break even means? I thought it had something to do with, well.
Apparently someone had a McDLT.
I'm about to make it McDLT if we don't hurry the show up. Ben, have precincts closed? Has Danny Clover voted?
Precincts have reported.
Well,
So,
we can't have a tie.
well,
yes, we can.
this round is a tie.
I'm afraid that's why we have 5 rounds. 5 rounds, guys. All right. Oprah Windfree LT. Jason White, it is now your turn to go first again. Are you ready for the next vehicle on the list?
Yes, I'm ready for the next vehicle.
The next vehicle is, and I don't even remember what it is, it's the Kirkpatrick Elite.
Kirkpatrick Elite.
What kind of vehicle is the Kirkpatrick Elite? Who designed it? Where is it manufactured? What is its vehicular purpose? Why was it brought to market? Are you ready? Because your
Yes.
time starts right now.
The Kirkpatrick Elite was actually designed by former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick, but he changed it to the Kirkpatrick to avoid having any ill sales numbers associated with the fact that he basically ripped the city off and used it for his own enrichment, blah, blah, blah. The Kirkpatrick Elite is a luxury vehicle. hence the term elite. It's ostensibly of Irish descent, given the name. This vehicle comes in 3 different shades of green: forest green, hunter green, dark green, and emerald green. Emerald green being, well, also teal.
The color of money.
Yes. The Kirkpatrick Elite is a car that you can purchase at most used car lots, because it went straight from the new car lots to the used car lots, like straight to video DVD. So, where's the bell? Let me just get something from my car.
All right. The Kirkpatrick, ostensibly of Irish descent. Christian Conover, them might be fighting ways.
I want to get a McDLT after this.
What?
I don't think they make them anymore.
All right, Christian, are you ready to tell us and the chat room what
Funny.
the Kirkpatrick Elite is all about?
I think so.
Go, Ben. Start his timer. Your time starts now.
Tick, 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 tick.
The Kirkpatrick Elite was funded and kind of designed by an out-of-nowhere rich Irishman who turned out to be a mobster and drug dealer after his vehicle had record terrible sales. Its key demographics that it sold to were pimps and other smaller drug dealers, given its gaudy design and really obnoxious coloring and interior that also was absolute crap. It did not sell very well, as the car was not on the market very long, since the company that manufactured it got shut down in the federal case against the owner when it was discovered that he ran a huge drug operation and was a criminal. So the car, you can buy it for higher value only because of the fact that its history is a little colorful.
Enough. This is
not easy.
Christian has a good technique. Couple words at a time.
Pause.
Takes a breath.
Couple
A few
words.
more
My
words.
technique is I'm scrambling to come up with something new to say.
So what you're saying is it should be 30 seconds per round.
Well,
Well,
Craig,
that's an option.
any follow-up questions about the Kirkpatrick Elite?
it's actually not a luxury car. It's a luxury crossover. Let's be clear.
Greg, you misspelled scrotum.
Yeah, I probably did. There's an episode title for you right there. And who's pointing that out in the chat?
I have no idea what you're referring to.
Anyway, never mind, Ben. It doesn't matter. It's not important. The Kirkpatrick Elite, like I said, luxury crossover. Body-on-frame crossover, too, which is kind of backwards for that segment of vehicle. We've seen automakers downsizing, going to car-based vehicles. But this one went up to a proper ladder frame.
That is what we call bass-ackwards.
Well, it's the smart choice. It gives you modularity in the design. So you can do a long wheelbase version if you chose so to do without having to redesign all kinds of different parts in there. You just stretch it physically, you know?
Meanwhile, the chat room has been voting.
They've been debating how to spell scrotum.
Ben, give us an update.
Amanpour is at 83% of the vote with 5 votes.
Wow.
We've got 1 vote for Mr. White. Wait, a second vote for Mr. White. That puts you at 29%. There is nothing wrong with 29. A lot of people would love to be 29 again.
Gentlemen,
I count myself as one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So that's that. Oh, we've got another one for Christian. So I believe we now have all precincts reporting.
And the winner.
That's our all precincts reporting.
Christian carried the day. Christian carried the day. I'm sorry, Jason. You're going to have to make up. You're going to have to.
2.5 to 1 to 1/2 at this point.
Wish I were dead.
Not yet. The game's not over, Ben. He can still carry the day full term.
No,
here,
the best I can do at this point is tie.
which is still
That's what I'm
carrying.
saying.
It's
the
a
day.
noble thing to do.
Everybody likes
Have
an
odd
underdog.
number
Let's
and
be.
have somebody win after a
This
tie.
is the part where if what's his name?
Yeah.
What's
Him.
the one? No, the guy that Morgan Freeman. If he were here, he'd go, "I love being a wild card."
All right. Well, we got 2 more rounds, guys. It's still anyone's game.
And this time, of course, Who goes first, Craig?
Christian Amanpour.
That's right.
Oh, it's me again.
Christian,
All
are you ready? The next
right. I
vehicle,
guess so.
round number 4, is the Poppycock by Corpco Inc., which is short for Corporation Company Incorporated.
Good. Thank you for clarifying that.
So, Ben, you got your minute on the timer ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Begin!
The Poppycock, contrary to what the name might imply, is actually a very stable, reliable, and practical vehicle. Doesn't have a whole lot of style to it or crazy features. It's just a very simple, down-to-earth, gets you from A to B kind of vehicle. It works very well. They have one of the best reliability track records of any vehicle in its class. It actually beats out things like the Camry and the Civic. Just a very solid vehicle. If you're somebody who is incredibly boring and doesn't like to really deal with people, this is the perfect car for you because it's ugly, but it works very well. And yeah.
And he's out of ideas.
Yep, I'm done.
That sound means
Bonus round! Woo!
woo,
No.
woo. Oh, I thought we had a bonus.
It
a
means
daily
it's
double?
time for the ghost of Ray Haroon, who's teaching everyone in the chat room how to spell.
Maybe the ghost of Ray Haroon ought to be studying up on what the
Poppycock really
poppycock
is.
I guess he doesn't care too much about
He's not,
time.
he's not really
There is
interested
a lot
in...
of scrotum in the chat room right now.
Wow.
He is not about the poppycock, but
Yeah.
he's going to have to be.
Yeah, all right.
'Cause
Ben, timer ready? Tell
One
him
monster
when.
has a mixed scrotum. Is that a new
3,
McDonald's sandwich?
2, 1. Go, Jason. Go, Jason. Go, go, go.
Poppycock is a combination of opiates and the French term cock meaning shell. So it's an opiate shell. Poppycock is an automobile, is opiates in a shell in a car.
Huh?
Where am I going to go with this? It doesn't make any sense.
It's a B segment pickup truck. Go.
Explain us the origins of Corpco Inc.
Corpco Inc. is a third-term company that doesn't quite understand where they are in the stock market. They just know that people get up next to the bell and ring it and go, "Yay, money!" I don't know.
I think that's how most of America is.
Yeah, most of it. Poppycock for the Scott in Cleveland has an idea of what it is, but it's apparently a vehicle to transport poppycock from one place to another, and then you deliver it, and then here's William Shatner
And mercifully,
that's poppycock.
That, you should win right there for that.
Craig, any follow-up questions about the poppycock? Maybe you want to ask Jason what segment it falls in, or
Yeah, could you
The
tell
scrotum
us?
segment.
wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, let's just get the chat room to vote, please. It's a bunch of poppycock.
Certainly.
Certainly.
So I have pasted the link in the chat room. We've got our first vote. I think we have a couple sympathy votes for Jason.
Oh,
Mr.
good
White?
grief.
You Charlie Brown.
Have I pointed out that this is the best I can do is tie at this point?
We'll go to another bonus special round.
The
Why don't
funny
you
thing
talk
is,
into the
Jason,
mic?
I honestly feel like
Bonus
you've
round.
been doing better than I have. I
wouldn't
really don't
seem-
understand where the
Again, I believe we have all precincts reporting.
my-
Jason, did you bother to vote for yourself?
No, I did
You
not.
are allowed to do that.
Oh, now you tell me I can vote for myself.
Go back and vote for yourself in all the
I
other
could have
rounds.
broken the tie.
Well,
What is the matter with you?
what
Why didn't you
on,
tell
ele-
me I could vote?
on election day? What does the president do? Does he vote for himself, or does he say, "Oh, I'm going to sit this one out"?
Everybody was saying, now it's time for the chat room to vote.
What is
Are you in the
Prince-
chat? You're the ghost of Ray Haroon. Are you not part of the chat
Oh.
room?
He was busy teaching people how to spell. What is this Prince Poppycock besides terrifying? And who posted it? Scott in Cleveland. Scott in
Oh my
Scott
God.
Cuyahoga County. Ben, who carried the day?
I believe it is Christian Amanpour with 5 votes. That equals 55%.
Can we just move-
56%, actually. Yes,
We have
Jason,
one
please.
round left. It's still anyone's game.
It's not anyone's game. Mathematically, it can't be.
This is the bonus round. Woo!
Winner take all?
Yeah, I guess.
Nullifying all the votes that have happened prior.
This is the Florida 2000 vote.
I could have just
Sudden
been
death.
sleeping for the last 4 ones.
This is called the Electoral College, where
Were
you
you
get
not?
screwed over at the end.
So this is Florida.
Yes. Are you guys
Horse
ready?
cocky.
Now, I believe who goes first next, Ben?
I believe it's Christian.
Christian
I
it
don't
is,
think
and he
so
has
now.
to tell us all.
That
Wait, I
that
went
noise
first- I went
means
first last
Christian
time.
goes next.
I thought
It's
we
a special bonus round where Christian goes next.
Okay.
The vehicle he has to tell us all about is called the Baby Scraps by the Red Baron Corporation.
All right. So the Red Baron Corporation Baby Scraps. Is that the make? The Red Baron,
The Red Baron Corporation manufactured the Baby Scraps.
but they didn't bother to have a make of it. Or is the Red Baron that's not considered a
It's
make?
the Red Baron Baby Scraps.
It's like the equivalent to General Motors in other
It's
words.
the Red Baron Baby Scraps. The corporation is throwing you off. Ben.
Okay, Red Baron Baby Scraps. All right,
The
Christian.
See Around Corporation.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Have we given you enough time to start thinking of this, Christian? I hope so.
Maybe.
Go.
So the Baby Scraps by the Red Baron Corporation is actually ironically named because it is a very large vehicle aimed at the commercial sector for carrying whole objects, not scraps. The original design was to be a vacuum cleaner to pick up the mess made from eating a Red Baron pizza. But as designed by committee often does, the design was changed drastically from its original prototype to the point where it resembled nothing even close to what it was supposed to be, and is now gaining popularity in the large SUV segment, in the commercial side of things, just hauling all sorts of crap around. And namely pizzas. Very popular with pizzas.
That's not delivery. That's Red Baron Baby Scraps.
Baby Scraps.
That's a show title.
It's Baby Scraps. All right. So, Jason, you're next. What are you feeling about the Baby Scraps?
I'm thinking that there's giant scraps. There's middle scraps. There's tiny scraps.
And
there's
then-
baby scraps.
Scraps of what? Not certain.
That's irrelevant.
It really is.
The only thing you know is that they're baby scraps, and you need to take them somewhere. That's all that matters.
So
You're focusing on the irrelevant portion of this equation. What are the scraps? And a more important question, Craig, would be what aren't the scraps?
So, are there different models under the Red Baron lineup? I mean, so the Baby Scraps, is that like the mini version?
That's another non sequitur. It's not important what model it is, where to buy it, or where does it come from. Not even where it's manufactured.
Funny or not,
existential.
believe it or not, the
The
Kirkpatrick
important
Elite
thing-
was manufactured by
The
Red Baron.
important thing is that these are baby scraps. That is the size of the scraps we are talking about. Therefore, you would buy.
Yep.
Are you running for president?
All right, who run the Baby Scraps?
Baby
Baby
Scraps.
Scraps.
Baby.
I want my baby bag, baby Scraps.
Who's wind? I mean, who
Roundabout baby Scraps.
wins? Oh my
baby
gosh, we got
Scraps.
3 sympathy votes for Mr. White.
I did pretty good on that one.
4
Actually,
for
that was
Mr.
pretty
White. 5 for Mr. White. I think they're thinking his tactic on this one was very
Yeah.
clever. Very
Should
clever.
have slept through all of
not
these.
trying?
But you did the best.
I can't vote. What the hell is this? I've been
telling
blocked
you.
from vote. It says that you could not cast your vote. Error returned by server. You've already voted in this poll. No, I didn't.
Somebody else in the room.
You're already
probably did.
winning by 70%.
All right, fine.
We were talking about babies. Don't give me that look.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
all the maths and stuff.
So how'd this whole thing come out, Craig?
I think Christian carried
Yeah,
the day
Christian won.
in a valiant effort, but
Barely. Just
You won
barely,
3-2.
though.
just barely.
By a baby scrap. Just
He squeaked
slid under
by.
the door.
Exactly, he squeaked by. So great game, guys. Mm-hmm. Christian carries the day. ChristianMingle.com. is
I
in
wonder
for
if Christian Mingle with 2 A's is available.
Christian.
I'm going to look that up.
Only if you spell mingle with an A.
And then I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to direct it to some raunchy porn.
Wow. That sounds great.
And we're done here. Thank you guys for participating.
Oh, we're still in the air, aren't we?
Jason White.
Wait, I haven't finished my spelling lesson.
Oh, my God.
We're done here.
I have to admit, I'm kind of disappointed you guys didn't. One of the cars wasn't a sports car because I wanted to use this sound effect.
Sport.
Not much of a sound.
All
They
right,
could have gone with
whatever.
baby scraps, but
Did you play it yet?
All right.
Jason White, autodesign.com, designer at the Ford Motor Company.
Autodesign.com. This is a blog that has grown by leaps and bounds, especially today. Today alone, we had 20 new people like us on Facebook.
20?
20. This is the site that covers car culture in many ways, like Roundabout does, but it is in more of a design-themed vein.
More of a better,
Hey, look.
content type of theme.
Well, whereas you would talk about newfangled Iltec, we talk about old school Viscom. Also, there's
You remember this?
I remember everything.
I'm the 150th liker.
Mm-hmm. Wow, how about that? Thank you very much, Christian.
We have the likers.
We're going to have a tribute coming up soon, a proper one for Carol Shelby. We also have a preview of the CCS degree show. Some of the better clay models are on there. Also some hilarious segments towards the bottom, including one where you get to decide if what you're looking at is a car brochure or a psychological horror film. You be the judge. There will also be some bits coming up soon about the Edsel, rather humorous regarding the name. We're not making this up. It is true. And come on over, check it out. We've got all kinds of new content.
Auto Design.
Looking good.
Very nice. Thank you, Jason White. We do appreciate you joining us for the program.
I'm very glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again sometime in
Yes.
the near future. Christian Canova, Uncle Amanpour's fourthhandmotors.com.
Is that available?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't know. The internet is getting pretty crowded. Anyway, yes, that's me.
So
Guilty as charged.
how you feeling, girl? What's news? What's going on with Wheelspin?
We are still in a holding pattern with Roundel Table. Still getting things worked out. It's a busy time of year. Josh and I both have a lot of stuff going on. It takes a while to revamp a show, but trust me, it will be worth it. We have some awesome stuff coming. Can't tell you about any of it because it's coming out on the show, but it is awesome, and it's worth
Are you
waiting for.
withholding awesomeness from Roundabout? Because if that
I am contractually obligated to do so.
that's tantamount to treason.
Do we have to sign an NDA?
I'm under an NDA from myself.
So, well, anyway, Christian, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on the program.
Always a pleasure to be here.
So thanks a lot. And Ben Sanders, the Colonel,
Oh,
got to thank you as well, honey.
clearly always my pleasure, Craig.
Have you been? Tell us about the time you fought in the War of Southern Gentility.
Oh, it was a tragic affair. You see,
Was that the one where the North killed everybody?
no, I stubbed my toe
That was the
holding
one where
a
we
door
were-
open for a lady.
It's a wounded
Wait a minute,
veteran.
that was the one where I was wearing blue and Rich was wearing gray, right?
Hey, did you know that Uncle Amador's fourthhandmotors.com is available?
I never knew.
Well, it is.
Well, better buy it then. And
I better.
remember, you can watch Roundabout live every Friday evening starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 3:30 on the West Coast. And don't forget to check out the rest of the Autoline family of fine programs, including Autoline This Week, Autoline After Hours, and, of course, Autoline Daily. If you want to get involved, you can. We're doing all sorts of social media stuff. Twitter.com/Roundabout Show if you want to tweet with us, or Facebook.com/Roundabout Show as well. Great place to like us and get the latest updates, although the new Facebook page designs are very confusing, I've got to admit.
Craig, I heard something the other day.
Yes.
No, you didn't.
I heard you can buy Roundabout branded apparel. Where did this vicious rumor start?
Where?
I just heard that.
Well, you go on roundaboutshow.com.
You mean it's true?
Yes.
It's a trumer. A
Harry
rumor,
S.
a rumor
Trumer.
that's actually true.
That's when he had
Not a
that
tumor
that
that it was
cyst,
wrong.
remember?
Just when I got over my Chester A arthritis.
So, yes, you go to roundaboutshow.com. You'll see on the right-hand sidebar of the page a little $sign. That's a link.
Money, money,
It's called a
money.
hyperlink. takes you to the Roundabout Emporium at a cafe price. You can buy all kinds of great stuff: T-shirts, mugs, hats, stickers, you name it. It's there, and it can be yours to proudly display your Roundabout fanaticism.
Are there stickers there?
We've started a Roundabout Youth organization, the Roundabout Youth, and we're going to, buy stuff
Ben,
now.
You can
Ben,
even
what-
buy.
Yeah.
Listen here. Quiet,
No.
you.
What
at
happened
this.
to us,
You-
Peabody?
You can even buy a Save the Bowman T-shirt. For a
My
limited
God.
time, we're gonna save the Bowman from quitting Roundabout.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Anyway,
But-
thanks to all of you out there. Listen. Are you done?
News moves like a.
Where's the
stage
McDLT
coach.
shirt?
That's what we need next. And a Christian Amanpour Mingle shirt.
Yeah.
You
So-
can even buy a Roundabout
I
trucker
think
hat.
we need to make a shirt out of the album art from the last time I was here.
Yes.
It's true. It's true. We need a product featuring.
Oh, I need a
the
Roundabout
best-
mug.
Yes, you do.
I will
tell you-
Jason, I will paste this in the chat room and you will laugh.
I'm not gonna lie. The Roundabout travel mug is pretty awesome.
Really?
It's a good one. So, I'm just saying,
Okay.
y'all might want to partake.
Y'all might want to check this
All right.
out. But
Y'all
with
buy
that,
stuff now.
we're encouraging you also to not only buy stuff, but to subscribe to Roundabout. And you can do that in a number of different ways. You can use iTunes.
But how much does it cost?
It's free! Woo!
That's a bargain.
It certainly is. So, subscribe, or you can use apps like Stitcher to listen to it on the fly.
Does
What's
that
it gonna
involve
cost?
stowing? I'm bored. Not stowing, sewing. Sorry.
Can I finish the show, Ben?
Go. Here, I'll mark this. You can cut it out in the podcast.
Please. So anyway, thanks to all of you out there listening. Please join us again next week as we circle the Roundabout, and we will talk to you then.
I have to pee.
I love it.
Or circle the drain, either one.
Oh.
Craig was eager to be done. My goodness.
Where did he leave?
Ben, do you really have to edit the show? Because it just seems like it's...
It's a bunch of...
Fine as it.
Minutia.
Yeah.
Oh, she's still alive.
Guest 36497 is disappointed he and or she got here just as the show was ending. We are so sorry. Guest
I want to make a
3
Too bad they won't know how to spell scrotum.
I want to make a roundabout decree, although it's
Can I-
not obvious.
What?
Because she's the only one. I think Domino is the #1 female roundabout fan.
Domino, Mr. Stewart in the chat
Now,
is saying,
now, is this Domino from Thunderball or Domino from Never Say Never Again? Because there's two.
What?
I guess I'm the only one here who watches James
Domino
Bond
says
movies.
Thunderball.
Okay, thank you. That was the correct answer.
I would have went with that.
Wait, I think guest 36497
pleases
is
him.
actually the Randifier. Who?
I need to make two mentions. One being that the sound effect for when the Transformers change should be the... And then the second was, they may not have the McDLT, but I did see recently on the television, because I do get a few channels when they come in, when the traffic's not going by in the house too fast, it cancels the stations. But they apparently, some McDonald's will serve, it is an off the menu item, is the Monster Mac. It is
Wow.
a Big
Because-
Mac made with 8 patties.
Because it's not like they have enough trouble making the stuff that's already on the menu. You have to order something that they don't have instructions
What
for.
about the
No,
American
it's
meal?
just trouble when you try and make a custom order because they're such slaves they don't know any different.
You can have
This
it
is
your
what I'm
way as
saying.
long as it's their way.
That's Burger King.
Hamburger Führer. The Burger Führer and McDonald's.
The only fast food I get anymore is Wendy's, and that is some damn good fast food. Seriously, those burgers, they're the kind that just you're eating them and you're gasping for air.
I'm quite sure their new tagline is "It's the best food that's fast food that's almost food."
That is good.
Their fries are really good. They've gone to the kind that have the skins in them,
Yes.
and they're fresh cut. Those are
Everything's better with skin, especially if you can wrangle it to be gravy skin.
Gravy Skin is
Correct.
the fourth food group, as a matter of fact. And we got to thank our chat room. What a great audience.
Chat rundown.
We got a new chat
Run
audience.
down the audience.
We have
And
audience.
the chat room audience.
We have an audience here. AM2 coming to us live, waking up with Roundabout in the morning in the Philippines, 12-hour time difference.
Oh, yeah.
Can we get? We need an old time radio. We need a radio promo. You're waking up in the morning with Roundabout.
Isn't that a morning show?
That's syncopation right there.
Yeah,
it was
right.
off beat.
Today it's Stewart and Stewart. That's our morning.
Stewart off. Go.
Well, it's
almost time for Roundabout. When's the traffic report? We got a fracas on the M10 lot.
Is it Wednesday yet?
No, it was Clarence. Where's Clarence?
Clarence Thomas.
No.
How come I don't hear Charlie barking out
Wow.
back?
Because if there's any voice more annoying than one Jimmy Stewart, it's two.
Okay. All right.
You see, the kids, they listen to the rap music, which gives them the brain damage.